Hello everybody, my name's Kanamanika, and welcome back to the unboxing, where today we have some figures that we've already opened. As you know, over the past, I guess, couple of months, technically, we've been doing a lot of Hiroaka because my brain has broken. But that all started here with the SH Figuarts Azuka Midoriya, and has recently gotten up to here, the SH Figuarts Katsuki Bakugo. However, these two figures are special in part because you can upgrade them even further. That's right, today we are taking a look at the SH Figuarts Plus Ultra Option Parts Set. This is a option parts set for Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo, who we will move to the side for a second, but they will be here so that if I want to, I can show off some of these accessories on the figures themselves. This is an accessory set. You don't get these two figures with the set, if you were unaware beforehand. This is something that you should buy only if you have one or ideally both of these figures, but since I do have both, I'm going to take a look at it. Anyways, this box is honestly unexpectedly large. We've looked at an accessory set before, the Monkey D. Luffy accessory set, the Gum Gum option parts set for the Romance Dawn Luffy. And that one was a fairly thin package, but since this is accessories for not just one but two figures, it's quite a girthy box. It's bigger than both Katsuki and Izuku's boxes in terms of size like that. I'm pretty sure it's about the same, dimensions like this, but it's a lot wider. Anyways, it is styled very similarly to those previous two figures. You have a window that allows you to look into a bunch of the stuff that you're going to be getting. It's mostly showing off the full cowling parts, but there is more in here. SH Figuarts quote is right here. And then here we have a fairly basic look where we have green and orange stripes coming through, similarly to the stripes that were on both Izuku's and Bakugo's box arts. We have a promotional image of the two figures using the accessories that are included in this set, plus Ultra, Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo, plus Ultra option parts set. And then you have your usual legalese, all your normal logos, Bandai Namco. At the top, you have even more images of the two figures using their accessories that come in this set. At the bottom, you have this really nice kind of premium image of the two of them also using their accessories. On this side, you get little windowed images to show different poses, the finger flicking, full cowling, the sparkle explosions, and the backpack for Katsuki. On this side, you get another image of the two of them using their accessories, My Hero Academia plus Ultra Option Parts Set, SHF, MHA. On the back here, we get even more promotional images, the accessories all laid out there, the two figures using all their accessories, and they're in more standard poses. This is the American release, so yeah. Anyways, without further ado, though, I think we should open this package up, because there's going to be a lot. I have to imagine this video might be a bit long, and looks like the instructions are hidden behind the flap, because there's just so much that they couldn't cover it all on the side. Oh, that's Izuku's. Where's Katsuki? Is Katsuki on... Katsuki's on the back. Okay. I see. It shows the steps to get his backpack all together, which I will probably be putting together here in the video, if you give me a second. But yeah, you can see all the instructions for the accessories on this page. Anyways, opening it up, we shall find that there are two trays of stuff. So here we have these, and there we go. Those are your two trays, but there's also a little bit in the back. So if you'll remember, we looked at fairly recently, if you are seeing these in order of recording, though you can also just look back if you need to, haha. We looked at the Revoltech Izuku Midoriya, and with that, one of the main things it came with were onomatopoeia effects. That's something that the Revoltechs did for at least a little bit. But I imagine in part because of that, and in part because it's a stylistic decision mainly for the manga, these figures also include onomatopoeia. This accessory set specifically includes onomatopoeia. So let's get that open as best I can. So, give me a second to get this all worked out. So, first off, tape is kind of busy. Going for what I'm less familiar with, we get a pair. We get two each. We get a pair for Katsuki Bakugo. And of course, since he is an explosive-ass motherfucker, they both say boom. They have a plastic covering to help protect the text in, I guess, packaging. So you just gotta remove that. And the first one we get, also the Izuku does have that on the other one. I just couldn't get it off. The first one is this decent looking boom effect for Katsuki Bakugo. It looks nice, very comic booky. I'd have to look back to see which ones are more accurate to the original manga. From what I've seen, I think the ones that are included in the Revoltech figures are a little more accurate, but I could be wrong. Correct me on that. These do feel thicker, though. These are a thicker slab of plastic than the ones on the Revoltech. So keep that in mind. And we have this boom. If it'll peel off, hopefully it will. You can see it's wanting to peel. But yeah, as you can see, this is to prevent damage to the text, seemingly, or like scratches to it, before it shows up in your house. So once you get it in hand, you can just pull off the protective layering. We have this boom, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more poppy, and it looks nice. And then for Izuku, you get his customary smashes. Anyways, there we go. Close that up. Come on. There we go. You get his customary smashes. We get an orange one. So just trying to get this plastic off. Yeah, you get an orange one. Right here, which looks nice, and then somewhat nicer, I think probably my favorite effect of the set, the green smash, because, you know, he's green. He's green. I don't know why I did it like that, but yeah, I really like how this one looks. It has a very kinetic effect to it, that just looks very nice and high quality looking, and give me a sec, there we go. It has a very kinetic feel to it that I quite like the look of. Anyways, that on the back here also starts showing off the stands that these come with. I'm gonna take them off screen because they are quite frankly taped annoyingly, and I will murder. Yeah, I'm gonna give me a second here. I'm just gonna stab it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fucking crap. There we go. There goes one of the booms. Yeah, this is the start of the stand arm. Well, these are the bases for the stands. The stand arms come on a separate layer, which we will get to momentarily. Sorry, I'm spending so long on the onomatopoeia. I do think the onomatopoeia are neat. I like them. But yeah, it comes with, the set comes with 2 of these round bases that help to act as part of the stands that'll hold up the onomatopoeia. You get 1 for each figure, so you get 2. You get 2. 1 for each figure. It would have been nice to include 1 for each of the onomatopoeia, but we'll live. Anyways, onto the back layer. We'll start here, I guess, because I guess we'll be starting with some assembly. Yep. So there's just a birth of accessories here on the back. Anyways, I guess to start off, we can start off with hand parts. Well, first off, we'll start with the stands. As previously mentioned, like just now, essentially. We get 2 more clear stand arms. These are non-posing stands, unfortunately. These are not nice Tamashii Nations Act 5 stands. These aren't doing what the Revoltech did, where it just included 2 stands. But these will work fine for your onomatopoeia. You just stick that in there. Stick that in there. And they have a little sandwich, so you can just take whatever onomatopoeia you want and place it there. We'll take, I don't know, this boom, and we will plunk it on like so. It has a nice tight grip on it. Hopefully this isn't chipping anything too crazy, but as you can see, they look nice. A little bit basic on their stands, but you don't need all the extra articulation, I guess. Anyways, going on, we'll start with some Izuku parts. First off, these are some hands that should have come with the base package. He comes with his flicking fingers, and they seem about as well painted as the original. A little bit of paint slop, especially in the green, if you can tell. But they do still look nice. They have a lot of detail sculpted and painted, and they do look nice, and they are doing a nice flicking pose. These should have been included in the base package, but I'm glad that they are including them in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, it's nice to have those. And then moving on to Katsuki's hands, we'll start with, so these are unique lower arm parts. These are, I'm not going to be putting these on in the video, because from what I've seen, it's a little bit of a process. These are gauntletless lower arm parts. He looks like this sometimes when he doesn't have the gauntlets, or when the gauntlets are when the bomb gauntlets are broken. These are instead allowed to, I imagine these are meant to secrete sweat that he's built up a little bit, but they look nice. They look nice and spiky. They're well painted. The silver's nice and shiny. And from what I can tell, these work just as well as any normal set of SH Figuarts arms. So yeah, these are nice to include. And then, hands-wise, he includes two more palming hands, very similar to the ones that are holding the bombs already. But they have interestingly longer pegs. There's like a little bit of paint slop on this one, but I mean, it's going to be hidden anyways. These are for those, which we will get to. Anyways, next up are parts to help build up the backpack. So first off, which I guess we'll be doing on screen, this will be a long video. So first off, there are these. I should pull out the instruction manual. Anyways, so there are those. They are hidden on camera for now. So there are these two little, like, I guess, gun thingies. And the way these are meant to work is you take your Katsuki, go around on him, take off the back panel of his neck. So you take this off, and then into the holes that are left over, you slot in these, and they should be, I guess, keyed. Let me do this off screen, because these are tiny parts. I'm being a little fussy. Come on. Yeah, they're small. So yeah, here is that look. Are you supposed to peg them into the... Give me a sec. Are you supposed to peg them into the arm as well? Yes, you are meant to peg them into the arm, it looks like. So yeah, you peg it in back there, and then once you're up here, I think... Yeah, okay. You peg it in there. I probably should have noted this on his video, but these back holes, I didn't notice, are actually like holes. So now I'll move the head around. When did that get there? Anyways, there we go. Take that, move his arm, plug that into it. I really want to clean the gunk off. There we go. Got the gunk off. Anyways, it looks like these are going to be a bit annoying and popping out all the time. They aren't a super solid connection in the shoulders, but, anywho, they're there. I imagine they'll be popping out all the time. So I guess don't be too meaved about it. I'm not going to be too picky about having those in all the time. Yeah, they go in nicely, and he's got the two cannons. Anyways, but now we have to assemble the backpack assembly. So first off, there's this bit with its 6 thingies. What the fuck is this for? I'll have to figure some shit out. Give me a sec. So we have this, nicely painted, has some silver. I'm going to pull out the instructions so I can assemble this properly. This is going to be a long video, unfortunately. That's done afterwards. Now if it's on the back afterwards. Okay, so way it goes, you get one of these struts. On the short end of the strut, you take one of your cannons and place it on like so, I think. It's on the short end, right? Or some of them go on the long end. These look like the ones that go on the long end, I guess. I think? I'm a bit confused. These ball joints are weak. Give me a second. Do they have markings? Give me a sec. So, how the fuck does this work? I'm a bit confused. I think these are all the same, but these appear to be potentially different. Give me a sec. I'm going to take everything out. I'm going to just go like that. Okay, let's look at all the holes. I think all the holes are the same. And both ball joints should be the same. It's going to take some work to get them in there. There we go. Okay, now we got one. And those are meant to be going down with gravity, so this one will go, like, up in the top, I think? Okay. No, that's not great. I don't like how that feels. And then you just are meant to plug this in down at the base. I'd say hold it there rather than holding it there, because if you do that, it might break. And you just do the same for each one. These are meant to be heading downward, so you know what? Give me a sec. I'll be back. And we're back. Sorry for the cut, but it took some hot water. These ball joints here especially are very, very, very tight. And as a side note, what you want to have them doing so you don't make the same mistake I did is have the magazines be going downward and have the bullets pointing in the direction of the back peg hole. So this is the backpack assembly. This is where the text is, which is nice. But it's a nice little assembly here. The silver is painted here nicely. I really like the way that the guns look. They have a nice slight metallic fleck to them. They're obviously a little wet right now because I put them under some hot water to help put them in a little bit nicer, but these ball joints are tight, so just keep that in mind. As far as articulation, this is really going to be the only point of articulation on this entire video. There is ball joints here, here, and here, so you get some nice range out of that, and you can move them down and upward, down and up, down and up, down and up. This one is also on a ball joint. It's a looser ball joint, so you're able to just basically maneuver it however you want. And this is a ball joint. It is fairly tight, so it might be worth heating it up a little bit more before playing, but it is on a ball joint. Yeah, they're nice. As far as getting it into his back, what you're going to want to do is start by taking your Katsuki Bakugo, flipping it around the back, and finding this panel here. There's a little panel. You can see it. You basically just want to, I found most success pressing in one side, pulling out the other, and there you go. Now you have a little clear view into his back. Now if you place him down here, you take this backpack, having it pointed upwards like this, take this little assemblage that comes with it. This is for the sake of stability for when you're pushing it in. Plonk it there. And then on that, ooh, I don't like how that felt. Push the piece onto the backpack. And now, yeah, Jeebus. You have a mess of a figure that is fully armed Katsuki Bakugo. I don't know if you, I don't remember, I don't know, I haven't gotten to this point in the manga quite yet. I don't know if he's gotten specifically what this is specifically called, but it is very extra, and this is very much a specifically end of series Katsuki Bakugo. Your head is basically stuck here now. If you have the big explosion effects on his head, there is nowhere for it to go, really, unless you, like, pre-pose it beforehand. But it's nice to have all of this, and it doesn't seem to be causing too many stability or weight issues. The waist seems stuck on fairly well. The legs seem to be holding up the weight fairly nicely. And here's how he looks from the back with all those fucking spider legs on him. Yeah, this is a lot, but it is very nice to get... I mean, like, if you lean him back like this, he is now more top and back heavy, so he will fall over potentially more than if he didn't have the backpack on, but it is just something to keep in mind that this set exists, and this set looks nice, and yeah, I guess I recommend it so far. Yeah. And that is that layer of stuff. We'll put Katsuki Bakugo back there for now. Oh, this is the other backplate. Anyways, moving on. This is where the energy effects come in, which are always nice to see on a figure of this caliber. So, I guess since we're on a bit of a Katsuki kick, let's re-grab these hands, because they are really only meant for one thing. I have the instruction booklet to the side. I guess it doesn't specify, I guess. But here we have these sparkle effects, and I love how they look. I kind of wish they had a little bit more paint, but they are sculpted so nicely, and they glow so nicely in the light, thanks to their clear plasticness. They just look so good. I really like these. These honestly sold me on getting this set, as well as Katsuki. And from what I can tell, you just... Yeah, there we go. You just plug it into the hand, and now he has these on the hand. It's probably going to be easier if you put them on him, to put on the hand first and then put the effects on, but the hands are made for the effects, so... these are a bit sharp, so just keep that in mind. And you get two, one for each side, so he can be going crazy sparkle on all his enemies. They're keyed in slightly, so you just wiggle it in. It's a little tight, especially for such a thin peg, but you just wiggle it in, and you have it on, and it looks nice, and I do really like how this looks. Use some nice explosion effect hands, and I'll be sure to use them. Anyways, time to finally bring out Izuku for once, because this has all been very Katsuki heavy. There's been a little bit of Izuku so far, but it's been very Katsuki heavy. But what we get here is full cowling. It's him with all the energy effects on. So starting off, we get the hairpiece, which has some nice lightning effects on. The lightning effects look just as nice as the Black Whip did. A very solid, but like somewhat viscous looking energy. The biggest difference here is that the hair blending is completely the opposite. As you can see on the normal Izuku hairs, it goes green to black. This one goes black to green, oddly enough, and it's going to be a bit of a difference, so let's get that on him while we're here. And yeah, it's not super evident from here, but if you look to the side, that looks a bit weird. It's not as crazy as I've seen on other people's copies, on mine at least. The green here at least blends fine, it's just the black up top. That's a little unfortunate, but it works out fine. I guess it's meant to contrast the electric effects. Now, moving on, I'm going to put him into a more basic pose so that we can take a look at our full cowling effects. So unlike the Reveltech, they're a lot more specifically keyed. So first off, we have our arm effects. So this one is meant to go on this arm. You just gotta kind of wiggle it on. It's a softer plastic. It's a bit weird to get wibbly and weird to get in there, but give me a sec. I'm gonna do this closer so I don't break it. I don't think it'll break because it's a softer plastic, but there we are. So he's got that one nice and long coming off that arm. And then this is for the green effects. Now we have this one. Very similar in style, though a little bit shorter and very much... It's different. Similar in style, though. This one is meant to go onto this arm. Just making sure. And then for the legs, we get another set. We get 5... we get 5 technically energy effects. Because we have this one, which is meant to essentially encompass the energy effects for this entire fucking leg when it's in green mode. So that goes there, from what I can tell. And then we have 2 more energy effects. The smaller one, I think, goes up here around his thigh area. You gotta kind of coax it to wrapping around. And then you get this one, which I think goes around the calf. Give me a second. This one, it looks a little bit worked in on itself, so I'm gonna... Give me a sec. Enjoy Katsuki footage while I'm working this around the leg. So yeah, there we have green energy full cowling, and it does look nice. The energy effects have a very nice color to them. The green is very pretty that they chose to use here. And it's interesting how it works in a more specified way. It feels a lot more intentional than the Revoltex does, so the Revoltech is a lot more customizable. Yeah, it does, in general, just kind of look nice. And as you can see, he can stand fine with it on. However, there are 4 more effects, 2 more sets. He has the pink ones. The pink ones are designed specifically for specific areas where he's using the energy. So he's got these arm ones, which wrap around the gauntlets, if they will go on. And we have this one, which also looks very nice. I don't think they're meant to be used at the same time as the green ones. Yeah, because that is not going on. So let's get this green one off. Let's get this green one on, or this pink one on. They just kind of sandwich on there, and these are not staying on in a way I'd like. These are feeling a bit funky, loosey-goosey, because they're meant to kind of peg on to those little discs there. As you can see, they are a lot more, I guess, viscous with energy than the earlier ones, and they are liable to pop off if you bend the arm, I guess. It's a little bit fussier than the ones that come on the Revoltech. So, okay, now I gotta get these off from what I can tell so that we can get the leg ones on. Anyway, so here we have what I imagine is this leg's. It just snaps on. Does it just kind of snap on the leg fully? Am I doing it a little low? I'm doing it a little low. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this off camera because these are getting a bit thick, and I don't want to break them. I don't want to break all these nice accessories that I just got. There we go. Whew. That's actually. Yeah, here's one of the pinks because I was getting the green off. There we go. And then finally, let's get this one on. And we can leave that. I'll take this green off for the sake of it. And then we get this pink on. Those are a lot tighter. These ones are popping off all the fucking time. I mean, I guess that's what you get for not using pegs and just kind of sandwiching them on and with friction. But there's your Izuku Midoriya in full cowling, I guess, hitting with all of his limbs, I guess, is what we're going for here. And yeah, this does look nice. Obviously, you're meant to only really go one at a time with these, but they have a very nice effect, and I really like the pink plastic. It looks really, really pretty. It just looks nice, and yeah. So far, I feel very happy about this accessory set. I do have my qualms. I don't like the way that these pink arm gauntlets stick on. It seems very loose, and I honestly, with the price Katsuki is, he should have come with a little bit more. So it feels a bit weird that the less expensive one feels like he needs the accessory set less than the more expensive one, because this more expensive one includes like option parts that feel like they complete the look for this final season Katsuki, because otherwise it's just winter garb Katsuki. Which, I mean, I'm glad that it's not just fully this look, but like that completes the final season Katsuki, doesn't it? But anyways, This is a nice accessory set. If you have both these figures, this is quite worth it to pick it up. It's not like super necessary or anything, but if you want full cowling parts, and you want this look for Kotsky, or you want these boom effects, this is the set to get. Obviously, don't just go in on these figures if you don't like them for these accessories, but these are a nice addition that feel like they round off the set very nicely. Overall, I would recommend it if you do have these figures and if you are into collecting these figures or whatever. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed all these Hero Aka videos. I'm not sure if this will be the last one for a while or if I'll get one more in there. But I hope it hasn't been too much of an onslaught. If you want more videos like this, do let me know in the comments below, or subscribe if you want to just see when I make more videos. We'll see if I've made a bigger video recently. Hopefully I've been able to work on it over the summer. I'm recording this right before the summer. I'm in the middle of finals projects, and I have to get these done because they showed up. But, yeah, I hope you did enjoy this video. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Bye-bye!